According to a Pew Research survey conducted in early 2016, 62% of adults in the United States consume their news through social media platforms. With social media feeds filled with biased and fake news, it is hard to distinguish the real from the fake, which has caused a nationwide mistrust of the media. In order to navigate the ambiguous news landscape of social media, we have created a 5-step process to determine if social media news is authentic, biased, or completely fabricated. Step 1. Consider the source. You want to ask the following questions. Is the source that published the article a well-established news entity or a fringe news source? Does the source have an aggressive conservative or liberal bias? Examples of a biased news entity are the Conservative Tribune and the Angry Liberal. If a bias is not apparently clear, conduct further research to find out which way the news entity leans. Step 2. Look at the evidence. Unreliable news articles will often exclude the sources of where they get their information from. The source should be clearly visible. Also, does the article provide an expert analysis? Credible articles should include links or other methods to easily access the studies and statistics that are referenced in the article. Finally, is the information that's being provided logical? For example, if the article claims Obama is a Muslim, which is clearly not true, the information is obviously fabricated and the article should be disregarded. Step 3. Scan for observable biases in headlines and wording. For example, in this article published on the Conservative Tribune website, the headline reads, 100,000 vets left to suffer after VA promotes transgender programs. The headline and the wording in this article is heavily conservative biased. In reliable news articles, the majority, if not all, of the opinions should be from the expert.
The fourth step in our process involves checking your artist's credentials. Are they well-established journalists? Look at the specific track record of the authors and then evaluate how trustworthy they are. Sometimes they don't present credentials. Some popular magazines sometimes just list the author's name, but other times aren't even listed. Some articles that are scholarly or professional may list credentials at the beginning of the article, and for the most part include the name of the author, specific details that are correlated with their expertise on their topic. Some of these typically include occupation, college, or university where they are teaching, and specific education. On websites, a common place to find the credentials is at the top or bottom of the page. If they are not listed at all, that means the author has no expertise. The fifth step involves verifying information with well-established or other sources. If it's covered on a small network, do they cover it on others as well? It's good to check your sources among many news agencies. For example, some of the top liberal news agencies are CNN, Huffington Post, Time, and NPR. Some of the top conservative news sources are Fox News and the Drudge Report. It's very important to check all different viewpoints on your subject so you can see all opinions. Pay attention to the domain and URL. Established news organizations usually own their own domains and have a standard look that most people are familiar with. Another important thing is to check the quotes or lack of quotes. Most publications have multiple sources in which each story have professionals and expertise in the fields that they talk about. If it's serious or a controversial issue, there are likely to be more quotes. Look for professors or other academics who can speak to the research they've done, and if they are talking about research, that look up to these studies. Fake news via blogs are also something that's been coming into our media channel. Some news organizations are letting bloggers post under the banner of particular news brands. However, many of these posts do not go through the same editing process, i.e. BuzzFeed, Community Posts, Kinja blogs, Ford blogs, etc.
Just a final recap of the 5 steps. Step 1, consider the source. Step 2, look at the evidence. Step 3, scan for observable biases. Step 4, check the author's credentials. And Step 5, verify information. Thanks for watching.